Body Blessing by Lisa Bove Kemper before the sermon. May you be blessed with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. May your intellect take you far on your journey. May you have been blessed with reason and free will. It is your call every day to use these gifts. May you be blessed with voice. May you learn the complex nature of truth-telling. The ability to speak the truth in love is something that requires honesty, empathy, and care. You are challenged every day to seek the joy that comes with sharing your truth compassionately, as well as listening to others. May your heart be full and blessed with love. May you know the agony of heartbreak as it is intertwined with the elation of true love. Your heart is a strong and resilient organ, one that will be with you until the end of your time on earth. May you heed the wisdom of your heart and always trust the truth it feels and tells. You are blessed with the gift of sexuality. May you always remember you are a beloved child of God. Your body is sacred and belongs to you alone. May you live into the full expression of your identity as a human being, embracing your true sexual and gender identity. The gift of sexuality brings with it many rewards as well as responsibilities. May you always retain power over your own being, striving toward mutually fulfilling and just relationship. When you were a baby, your tiny hands were your first contact with the world. Before you could see more than a few feet in front of your face, you grasped the fingers of your loved ones. You catch yourself with your hands when you fall, and you express love and comfort to others with them too. May your hands be gentle and strong. May you use them to carry light into darkness and rest to the weary. May your hands always find the place of greatest need, beginning with your own, and may the Creator of all things hold you in the palm of their hand wherever you go. May you be blessed on your journey. May you remember that growth happens on the journey and that you are never alone. May you always remember that you are a whole person, that each of these parts work together. We offer blessings upon each other, body, mind, and spirit. May you be guided by compassion and truth, justice and love. May you find rest on the journey, always remembering where you came from, being mindful that your ancestors are with you, whether we are present on earth or have gone back to the soul of the world. May you be blessed in all things and carry blessings with you wherever you go. Currently, scientists estimate that our bodies are made up of somewhere around 30 trillion cells and about 38 trillion bacterial cells. Just 1 gram of human DNA can hold up to 215 million gigabytes of data, making our cells incredibly dense storage units of information. Scientists forecast that if all data humans have ever recorded could be captured and it was converted into our DNA, it would take up a container the size and weight of a couple of pickup trucks. Scientists estimate that humans can distinguish up to 10 million colors or shades of colors. Pantone, the color expert company, is going to be busy for a long time trying to catch up with us. Taste and smell are more complicated to pin down, in part because some of our taste is impacted by our sense of smell and other factors. Also, do not Google human taste. You will not get what you're looking for. Our sense of touch is so sensitive that we can distinguish between surfaces that differ by just one layer of molecules. Our fingers alone contain tens of thousands of neurons, and our fingertips can receive information down to about 0.4 millimeters, which is about how far apart the ridges on your fingertips are from one another at the base. I don't know what all of this translates to exactly when I look outside my apartment window with the long grasses, the trees, and the shrubs standing and moving in the breeze, the sound mostly of silence, but occasionally sprinkled with children playing. The smell of the grass, the flowers, the trees, and water, and the smell of chlorine as I pass the pool. As far as I am concerned, that is one of the best smells in the world. I feel the heat of the sunshine and humidity, or if it becomes overcast, that cooling on my skin. All I know is that all of this helps create beauty and delight in my days and gives me appreciation for the body that allows me to experience them. Long before René Descartes and his famous maxim, "I think, therefore I am," humans have sought to differentiate what is often referred to now as the human condition from our sense of spirituality. This legacy traces back in various forms through Martin Luther, who conceived of a three-part expression of body, soul, and spirit, and believed humans to be both carnal and spiritual, or sinful and righteous at the same time. And before Luther, there was Augustine, who saw humans as a unified body and soul, and also Plato, who differentiated between human and soul, although he believed them to be interdependent, primarily in that the body was given life by the soul. At least one of these beliefs, if not all of them, is where the idea that the body is a fancy meat suit that carries your brain around was derived from. This is related to the ongoing theme of these philosophers and theologians who posited not only that the body and soul and or spirit are separate and distinct, but always that the soul and or spirit are superior to the body. Not unlike Wayne Dyer's often used quote that you are not a human being having a spiritual experience, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. For a long time, these ideas resonated with me. Of course the soul is a superior expression or embodiment metaphysically of ourselves. Souls are fallible and sometimes broken like our bodies. Souls are not limited like our bodies. Souls are perfect, unlike our bodies. The first time I really questioned this was when I did a training for Our Whole Lives, often referred to as OWL, a comprehensive, holistic, accurate, developmentally appropriate lifespan, sexuality, education, curricula, co-authored by UU and UCC staff. It is written for people from kindergarten age through older adults in 7 different programs. And it covers a range of topics, including relationships, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, sexual health, and influences on sexuality. One of the first questions we were asked in that training had to do with why sexuality education matters. One reason is because sexuality education has to do with communicating information and engaging individuals with their and their families, for minors, values as a means to conduct themselves in ways that are consistent with their beliefs and values and as a way to keep them as safe and healthy as possible. All of that to say that sexuality education is important because we are whole and our bodies are sacred. Sexuality education is one way to help us be in better relationships with our own bodies and with those of others. Whatever we might think about the body and soul's relationship, our bodies are worthy of love, respect, and care. We need our bodies to experience the world. delighting in the sunshine, feeling warm or cool water on us, tasting foods, stopping and smelling the flowers, even just lying in bed thinking about things are all experiences that you have in your body. Cole Arthur Riley writes in her book, This Here Flesh, Spirituality, Liberation, and the Stories That Make Us. I am disinterested in any call to spirituality that divorces my mind from my body, voice, or people. We get to contemplative spirituality by descending into the stories that reside in our bodies. For me, she says, most simply, contemplative spirituality is a fidelity to beholding the divine in all things, in the field, on the walk home, sitting under the oak tree that hugs my house, a sacred attention. Unitarians and Universalists have long been heretical for a variety of reasons, including their primary named theological stances on Unitarianism and Universalism, but this is a superficial understanding of our great heresies. We have long upheld the belief that the sacred is as much to be found in nature, one place where we have long given our own sacred attention. And we could argue that both sides have had deeper theological heresies that encourage us to celebrate being living creatures in wondrous bodies. The Unitarians, with their varying beliefs that Jesus was not divine or that Jesus was no more or less divine than any of the rest of us. And the Universalists, who believed, one might say, that we are truly made in the image of God in all of our gifts and challenges and expressions. So not only that we would all go to heaven at the time of our death, but that we are already together, living as God incarnate. Unitarians and Universalists were both influenced by the Transcendentalists and later humanists who pushed Unitarianism and Universalism beliefs into further into this world as opposed to a possible next, deepening and adding layers to the ways our beliefs impact our lives. Unitarians and Universalists both already focused their interests on what can be done in this life, given that this life is where we know we can make a difference. For the Universalists, probably especially, the idea that we all go to heaven wasn't a way to try to shirk responsibilities for improving life here and now, but rather a catalyst with a sense of urgency. We have but this one life in which to make change and impact the world for the better. Let us make good use of it. Even in this context, as a society, we are taught to look outward for delight, wonder, beauty, and other things. We move through forests and woods, delight in flowers and gardens, take to beaches, seek to go places, and to do things. We feel a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction when items are crossed off our lists. We have biked or hiked or flown or rode or ridden or strolled or stepped or skipped or strolled or rolled or wheeled our way through whatever we have sought. Riley writes in her book, wonder includes the capacity to be in awe of humanity, even your own. It allows us to jettison the dangerous belief that things worthy of wonder can only be located on nature hikes and scenic overlooks. This can distract us from the beauty flowing through us daily. For every second that our organs and bones sustain us is a miracle. When those bones heal, when our wounds scab over, this is our call to marvel at our bodies, their regeneration, their stability or fragility. How often do you sit and wonder about the miracle of your own body? Of the way your breath moves in and out of your lungs, your blood moves through your veins and arteries. Do you think about the incredible amount of work it takes for your muscles to move, or how many things go into being able to see or smell or touch something? I remember learning about muscle extension and contraction in high school and just being in awe at the number of elements that go into making that movement happen. That was all I could think about for a long time when I would move in my chair or play sports. Mostly, I bet we notice our bodies when something goes wrong or we push ourselves too far. When we injure something or something stops working well, or in my case, you grew something that's not supposed to be there, or we use deprived muscles, or there's some other change that we notice impacting how we get around and live our lives. Our dominant socioculture context tells us that bodies don't matter so much, and in some ways, our general current medical practices reinforce this belief. The rush to find a diagnosis and fix something reinforces the belief that our bodies are machines meant to be addressed with an answer, rather than as a complex living organism and ecosystem and a miracle layered with other miracles. Even as we're taught to look outside ourselves for wonder, these same spaces and creatures and the interconnected webs of existence are still often treated as things to control, to dominate, to subjugate, to exploit, much as we view our bodies. I heard a podcast once with an expert of the Hebrew scriptures who observed that the way that the Bible was translated, with God giving dominion over the animals and all creatures, that was a mistranslation. A better translation would have been that humans would be stewards of animals and all creatures, meant to care for and provide for them. How much might be different if we understood ourselves as stewards of animals and living things and the land and the water and everything that makes up the earth. When we learn to respect and appreciate our bodies, to wonder at their abilities regardless of their occasional limits, Riley goes on to say that this grows our sense of dignity, to be able to marvel at the face of our neighbor with the same awe we have for the mountaintop, the sunlight refracting. This manner of vision is what will keep us from destroying each other. In a time and place where some seek dominion over others, especially those with black or brown bodies, women's bodies, queer and non-binary and trans bodies, disabled bodies, children's bodies, we deny the truth that no one's body is any more miraculous or deserving of rights and dignity and liberation than anyone else's. The more disconnected we are with the wonder of our own bodies, the more willing we are to want to control others, to deny their selfhoods, autonomy, and agency, and to lean into destroying each other. The more disembodied we are, that is, the less connected we are with our own bodies, the more we expect conformity from others, and the more we are willing to legislate others' bodies to give us the same sense of control we seek in our own lives. We here in Florida, our voices are needed. The NAACP has issued a travel advisory for Black folks as well as other people of color and queer and LGBTQ plus folks. LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens, has issued a travel advisory for immigrants and their families. And Equality Florida and the Human Rights Campaign have issued a travel advisory for queer and LGBTQ plus folks, as well as all marginalized communities, naming concerns about public school education, including dramatic increases in book bans, increased restrictions on reproductive care, and repeals to gun safety policies, which make this state a hostile one for those groups, and really all of us by extension. We cannot change things in the near future for those who might want to come here, but we can offer support and care to those who live and will choose to or must stay here. If we are to claim our theologies as Unitarian Universalists, believing in the interdependent web of all existence, believing then that all life and all that makes the earth is sacred, we need to challenge the dominant narratives that say otherwise. The sacred not only is with us, but is in us, in these bodies, in these vessels we nourish and nurture, themselves miracles worthy of honoring. We are not expendable or replaceable, and nor is anyone else. Again, in this here flesh, Riley writes, to be a people capable of extending welcome to the body, even those the bodies the world discards and demeans, is to be a people of profound liberation. By this, we will know our faith. We will stay whole. And we can only stay whole when we know ourselves and our bodies and know that we all need each other. We need to recognize our holy now selves in their fullness and complexity. We should be so amazed at the wonder of the human condition that it keeps us up late at night, wondering at how it is possible. And we must remember to always treat one another with that same respect, care, and delight. If you would please rise and lift your voice in song with me for our closing hymn, We Laugh, We Cry.